This video is sponsored by EA. Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld again, and today we're going to take a look at some tips on how to find and use the best armor in Battlefield V Firestorm. Alright, so to kick off, what is armor? And well, basically it's a new way to extend your health that's currently only available in Firestorm. And not just that, even though it's a pretty common thing in other Battle Royale franchises, this is actually the first time that we've ever seen a fully fledged armor mechanic in a Battlefield game. Armor is a little different from what you'd expect in Firestorm though, in that there's three different types: your default light armor, rare medium armor, and epic heavy armor. And just like how it works for weapons and gadgets, well, you can tell the rarity of armor from its color. For example, armor plates and medium armor are blue and heavy armor is purple. Now, as for how it actually works, well, each type of armor vest can hold a number of armor plates, which you can find and pick up around the map by pressing the default action key. And basically, the heavier the armor vest you're wearing, the more plates that it can carry, with light armor holding 1 plate, medium armor holding 2, and heavy armor holding 3. With just your default light vest though, it's important to remember that when you spawn in, it won't actually have any armor plates, so you'll need to first find one, select it from your inventory, and then manually add it to the vest. But on the other hand, if you do manage to actually find a full new vest, well, it'll already have plates, so all you have to do is just look at the vest and hold down your action button, and you'll see it won't go to your inventory, it'll just equip itself. So how effective is armor anyway? Well, every armor plate actually extends your health by 50, and like I said before, if you've got a heavy vest with 3 plates, that means up to a total of 150 extra. And so when you combine that with your base health, which is also extended in Firestorm to 150, that means you can effectively end up with something like 300 HP or 3 times the health in the base game. What this will allow you to do is obviously take quite a few more hits than normal, which is a really good thing considering once you're dead in Firestorm, there's no respawns. And so in a nutshell, whenever you see those armor plates or armor vests lying around, make sure you make an effort to pick them up because you'll always want to have your armor at full if you possibly can. Just bear in mind though that armor doesn't actually protect you against all forms of damage, so even though technically you do have 300 health, it really depends on the situation. The general rule is though, if you get hit by a weapon, well, your armor will protect against that, but if you take damage from the environment, well, it'll go straight through to your health bar. For example, if you fall off something high, you get hit by a vehicle, if you drown, or most importantly, you get stuck in the fire outside the zone, well, armor isn't actually going to help with that at all. So just be aware when you do take environmental damage and always keep checking your health bar, because even if your armor is at full, maybe you might need to top up that health a little bit more with a health pack. Now, speaking of topping up your health, well, another important thing that you need to know is that although you can't always equip 3 armor plates, your inventory will store up to 3 extra plates for you to use later on. And just like how you'll equip your first plate, when your plates break, you can actually change them out for new ones, and you can top up that portion of your armor. Also, another thing that you really need to remember is that spare plates take up a gadget slot in your inventory, so just make sure you don't accidentally drop that when you're picking up other gadgets. And as a rule of thumb, the best way to avoid doing this is to drop any unnecessary items manually from your inventory every time you go to pick up something new. Finally, the last thing you need to know about armor is that although technically armor plates can spawn basically anywhere on the map, it will be a lot harder to find them towards the end of a round. And that's because as the circle gets smaller, well, there's obviously going to be less structures in the area to spawn loot, and that means there's a good chance that they're going to be cleaned out anyway. So in saying that, it's a really good idea to make sure that you don't change your plates out until they're completely broken. Because if you don't have any spare plates by the time you get to those final few minutes of a round, well, there is a good chance that you'll find yourself in a situation where you can't find any more. But anyway, guys, that just about wraps up this video, so hopefully these tips will help you to be a bit more effective with armor in Firestorm, and until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield.